Oh,
okay. All right. So this week we're going to continue our side control lesson. We're going to work on a couple far side attacks. So last Tuesday we worked near side attacks with that sit out leg Kimura series. This week we're going to work far side attacks. A couple things positionally I want to make sure we're sound upon before we start reaching our arms and legs and things far side across somebody's body. One, our knee positioning. I want to have my bottom knee should be in line with about his bottom rib. My top knee should be in line with right at the top of whatever these little ponytails are. I'm sure they have a great name. I just don't know what they are. And I want to be on my toes. I do not want to be flat-footed here. I see this mistake pretty commonly. Oh, Cat, why is this a mistake to sit flat-footed like this? And I have toes, which means if I want to be active, which we do in jiu-jitsu, I'm going to have to reset to this before I do anything. So you want to start with your toes dug in the mat. I want to have the inside arm tucked into my hip pocket, arm underneath the head. I want to make sure I haven't given up this underhook and make sure I'm just in good position, whether I'm hands clasped here or just working from here. Now, once we get here, variety of options of things you can do. First thing I generally like to do is just switch this hand from elbow tucked inside the knee to elbow tucked right inside the side of his neck. And I like to slide him back into me just that little bit. For two reasons, really. One, positionally very sound. Two, Rel, how comfortable is that?
not at all.
Not very, which is what we're looking for. Now, as I start to do this, naturally Rel's going to look to frame with this hand here. And that's great, because all we're going to do is I'm going to drive across his body, not just with my arms and look to fight, a fair fight. I'm going to look to drive across with my chest and my back. Here, because I want to pin this hand to the mat. Here. Now, as soon as I get that, my top hand is going to grab his wrist, and I make sure not to use my thumbs. So when you're making grips here, guys, we don't want to have our hands here. If you do that, you will break your thumbs. How many of you enjoy broken thumbs? Evan, you look like you enjoyed a good broken thumb. Great time, right? No. Boom, I want to have here. So I'm here, I have his head tucked up, I have a good grab on his wrist. My bottom hand is going to sneak right through the middle of his tricep underneath, and it's going to grab my own wrist. Now, a couple details that are going to make this go from okay to really nice. I'm going to look to throttle his wrist forward. Now, I know you don't throttle this way, you throttle the other way, right? I don't ride a motorcycle, but I know that much. We're going to forward throttle, because that's the thing, I'm sure. Here. Now, Rel, how much tighter does that feel immediately?
Like a lot.
Like a lot. That's why we do it. Because if I'm here and I look to lift this up, Rel's uncomfortable right now.
Right.
But he can.
Not killing you.
But see how he's bringing his hips up and it kind of just relieves that pressure?
Ah, shit.
Much more immediate. Now, I'm going to look to paint the mat with his wrist. So I'm going to plant it to the mat after I've throttled my wrist forward. And I'm going to drag the point of his elbow towards his hip pocket. Boom. Now Rel is very uncomfortable and I've yet to lift this elbow off the mat, which I'm going to do very slowly, because I'm a nice guy. And we're going to make sure we lock that in tight. Now obviously I can just slap this lock on and try to crank. And yeah, it works eventually. But the difference is I don't like to work that hard for a submission. It's a lot easier to do it right than sit here and fight him for 10 minutes. Because the longer I have to fight him on this, the more likely he's going to break that lock, get his feet involved, disengage me, do something that is unfriendly or unkind to make sure that I don't continue doing this. So that's immediately why I'm going to do it this way. Do you want to switch sides? So I'm here. Boom. I start out in the right position here. Now I'm generally going to be looking to hand fight with this top hand, just looking to kind of do whatever. But I'm not going to really be in great position until I get here, which is going to force relative frame. Boom, I drive that hand across and attack at that wrist first. This hand comes underneath, grabs my own wrist, throttle, down, up. Guys, realize the difference in between doing this at a white belt level and a black belt level is not magic, it's details. Alright? If you get the details right, that's why, how many of you guys have felt a submission when I snap it on and you're like, oh shit, that was there out of nowhere? My guillotines, certain of my arm bars have that. You know the difference? It's not magic, I promise. It's just I'm doing the details right.
When you're crossing your other arm from behind over, if he gets that arm back underneath, are you fighting to keep it up?
So like if I come here and he starts to drop that elbow down and things like that, I can. You can, you know, sit out and re-get it back to where it is. I'm not particularly worried about it until it starts to like frame my hips and start go into like a ghost escape or anything like that we've worked in the past. If he just drops it in there and is kind of just trying, because what a lot of people will do here is go to like the T-Rex defense.
Yeah.
I just don't want to give you anything. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm just kind of T-Rexing here.
So that's fine. You're not.
I'm not as concerned. Like if I get to here and Rel's just kind of T-Rexing here, he's just trying to hide his hands from me more than anything. Not concerned. He starts flipping this hand to the outside wrist, starts trying to walk his hips away from me. Okay, now we're gonna start to address some of that. So it's more what this hand's doing than where it's going.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's all situational. The it depends answer does apply, but generally if it's just trying to drop that elbow out because he feels like it's compromised, which it is, we'll go to that eventually. But then I'm not worried about it. If it's, hey, I'm moving that hand and it has an intent, it's going somewhere, that's when I may kind of do that little hip switch sit out I did there. So he drops that elbow out, boom. It's almost like if you guys did this like sit out drill, that would be super useful. That would be what that might, you know, be useful for. But then he frames the face here, boom, I'll drive that hand across, set my grip, throttle, down, up. Very simple, very easy submission if you hit it properly.
Where do you want your head, like your forehead?
So when I'm doing this against a proper opponent, boom, I'm generally just keeping my head kind of in a neutral position. I'm not using it posted anywhere crazy, just kind of keeping it in that neutral position. Now, if he starts really fighting me with this, you know, this here, I may end up using it just kind of to pull him up into me and things like that, but generally it's not doing a ton of super active things. Other questions? Driller out. 1, 2, 3. And we get here, right? Now, we're not going to drill this next piece. I'm just going to kind of show you, hey, this is available, and you all should know how to do it well enough that we're not going to spend quality time doing it. So we're here, I get Rel here, and Rel is a big, strong kid, right? He ate his Wheaties, and I've seen his shirtless pics before. He thinks he works out. So he's going to extend this arm really hard, and all I'm going to do is hit that straight arm. Wow. Because he sets himself into it. Literally when I'm here, same thing as last week, all you do is slide your hand out, find it, and he hits his straight arm bar, right? We're not gonna spend high quality time drilling that. Realize this straight arm bar is there when they straighten their arm out. So what he's trying to do though is to roll that hand out and send it to the other side, right? So he's gonna boom and come here. I don't like that because now I don't have what I wanted and this hand's on the far side. So that's not ideal for me from a positional standpoint. But what Rel doesn't realize is he made a mistake. He stepped on the mat with me. No. So this hand, I'm gonna keep this elbow in, but I'm gonna start sneaking this hand to the far side armpit. Here. Now as I'm here, I'm gonna sprawl. This hand's gonna switch to the opposite hip, and I'm gonna walk my head to the other side. Now, a couple things are gonna happen here. He may tap right there because you are going to go to a very nasty or sound. If that does not work, all you're going to do is keep walking until you come up to the side, and then you can hit it as a dart. Because, you know, choke your friends. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So we're here. I start to fight with Rel. I go for that straight arm lock. It doesn't work, and boom, I'm here, right? But I still have good elbow positioning. I'm still tactically sound here, right? All we're gonna do, this hand sneaks in. Those of you can't see, comes to this far side armpit. Boom. All we're gonna do is sprawl that weight back, switch our head sides and switch to here. Now, nice part is this is a north-south choke, and it's one of the only ways to hit it properly. But if that's not working, all you have to do is continue to walk back, turn him to his side, and hit it as a darce.
How do you finish that choke on the way there? Not with the darts in?
The head arm, boom, you stay there. So, as long as you're kind of that tricep area slides underneath his chin, here, all you have to do, fat finger it. So that fat palmy grip, same thing.
Are you lifting?
Just squeeze. So all you're doing is collapsing. Everything's going down.
So your palm down.
Boom, here, here.
And palm down. Okay.
So if I'm here with Rel, here, I give you the thumbs up. I grab that hand, here, sprawl down, slide back. Very nasty choke option. It's nice because a lot of people feel really safe when they straighten that arm out and kind of snap it through. They're like, oh, I'm safe. There's nothing bad that could happen from that. It's like, that's option A. Now realize that straight arm lock's always going to be there. If you want to drill it for a second, hit it real quick, good job. But like I said, the choke's going to be a much better option. So boom, he rolls that hand out, boom, here. Now, if I'm here, I start to walk this back here, a lot of people are going to try to come up this way to their knees. That's where the choke comes in. So if I'm here, all you're doing, this hand's in position already. You don't have to do anything with it. You just leave it, grip, and sit into it. Questions on this one?
You do it on Austin so I can see it.
Yep, steers, come here. Sucker. It's because you're white.
Yep, exactly what.
Say do it on someone else, it's like do it on Austin.
Hey, I need to see this. Or
see it on
would love to see someone else do it.
I don't know what I did to you.
Existing. So I'm here, right? This hand sneaks in to that far side. I sprawl back, walk my hips around, head to the opposite side. Now, as I'm doing this, he starts to walk up and try to come to his knees. Boom, that's great. You just hit it as a darce instead.
You just follow him up to your
Yeah.
knees too. Okay.
Yeah, you just follow him up at that point. You can either snap it back down or I'm just going to sit there and squeeze. It's in at that point, it's just do you squeeze hard enough.
When you're at that north-south and you say squeeze, so you, like, are you...
Boom, I'm here. I'm sprawling everything back and just tightening. Basically, I'm trying to eliminate the position in between my shoulder and my wrist. Now, his neck's in the way, but that's what you're trying to eliminate, is all that space there. So if I'm here with Rel, boom, like I'm here, right? All I'm trying to do here is Rel's neck's right in the way, but I'm gonna drop my shoulder right down. So I'm not trying to like squeeze and lift his head up here. I'm sprawling back into it and just flexing that bicep up a little bit. Because you 190 pounds of muscle steel and sex appeal. You can just do this. Alright. Other questions on this one?
Thoughts on different grips for that north-south?
Preferred, can't happen. Not great.
Oh shit, this is about to break.
I went here, he moved way too much. You can catch there. I don't prefer because it just makes the squeeze that you want harder. It's going to naturally invoke you to curl him as opposed to snap. The problem is when you have this, the natural motion is going to curl his head into your chest, which is going to lift him off the mat, which when I'm here, I slide into this, which means his head stays with me. This one, you can end up with that same concept. It's just harder from a body mechanics. Your hands aren't facing the right direction. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, good things are happening. I get Rel. I start attacking things. But as I start to attack things, he puts this arm right across my back. And he's just kind of locked in here. I don't appreciate that. Because, you know, he's not letting me do what I want. It's a very big thing for me. So, if he locks his hands here and stuff, I'm not worried about that. But if I miss this initial, hey, I went for Americana lock, and he just kind of swings it here. Boom. All we're gonna do, I'm gonna keep that head snapped up, but I'm gonna look to slide my bottom knee, I want right in his armpit. My top hand, I'm gonna look to cap his shoulder if we're pajama free. I'm gonna look to pull him up, and I'm looking to step my foot around right behind his shoulder blade. Here. As we come here, I am not standing up. I swear on all things holy, I catch one of you standing up, I'm gonna have to kick Enoch. And I like Enoch. Alright, as we come here, I'm going to sit, put my knee in the armpit, hammer my foot across the face, fall back for the armbar. The armbar. So I'm here. Boom, I go to attack, it doesn't work, boom. All I do, slide this knee just up that little bit, so it's going to be in the armpit when I come around. I just pull him up, step. I'm not stepping behind his head, I'm stepping behind his shoulder blade. Here. Swivel round, hammer down, pinch the knees, slide that wrist back as you attach it to your chest. Couple armbar details. We do not pull a lever. If you are pulling a lever, you're wrong. That's how most of you can armbar me. Attach it to your chest, fall back with it. Much tighter. Knees pinched. In this case, you can't cross your feet if you do this properly, but make sure we keep our knees pinched here. It makes the armbar tighter. And we do not fall towards the head, we fall towards the body. Alright? So we're here. Nice part on this one is it has a nice little flow to it. Boom. I try to attack, it doesn't work. Bop, I pull up. Here. Here, bop. Flow side to side with this one. When you're as good and good looking as me. Sorry, Dewey. Alright? Questions on this one? So, I'm keeping my weight low. That's why the not standing up part, I'm overemphasizing it. Because what happens to a lot of you, and what I'm going to watch 3 of you do here in just a second, is you're going to go and do that, and the second your weight comes up, he should be escaped. And if he doesn't, it's only because he sucks. Alright? So, when I go to step that foot around, the reason I'm here is not so much that I'm sitting on his head. I'm keeping a good pinch here to keep everything tight so that he's in danger that whole time.
So it's almost a balance if you can't sit directly on it.
Yes, you're more looking for balance, not so much, hey, I have to sit on his head, because there shouldn't be a pause in the middle of that transition. When you're doing it properly, even when I'm here, bop, bop, bop. Like, it's not a pause moment, it's just a transition. It's really fun to be around today, because I love it. I've done this drill a couple times, in case you can't tell. But it's a very nice far side arm bar, which can be a great tool, especially as you go to transition sides. Because even if you miss the arm bar, there's a lot of options there. Because let's say I don't like the arm bar that I'm going for here. And I pull him up and I'm here and I'm just like, I don't like this arm bar. Great, I just sit on the head at that point. And then there are other unfriendly, I'm not wearing a cup by the way. Other unfriendly options are there too. Alright, questions on this? 1, 2, 3.